Hello, I'm Penny Melville-Brown from Baking Blind, and I've been having a wonderful time cooking around the world with professional chefs and home cooks. But because I'm blind, I have to rely completely on my other senses, whether that's smell, taste, touch or hearing. And now you can see how I manage it. I was in Melbourne, Australia, learning about this fabulously gastronomic city. And I'm really lucky today because I'm with Danny, and she is the queen of the Thermamix, which is this amazing piece of kit. We've got two here, but Danny, tell me about your background.
Well, I think I'm the lucky one because I've got you here in my kitchen, Penny. So I'm thrilled to have you here.
Thank you.
And get to learn a bit more about the experience of cooking when you're visually impaired. So a little bit about me, I've been writing about food for 20 years. I've got a background as a food and travel writer. And what I love about food is the way that it connects people. And look at, you know, proving it today.
Yes.
It connects me with people from all different walks of life. I think food is just the best way to dive into culture.
But you know all about Thermamixes. I've been hearing about them all over the place.
Have you? So, yeah. I mean, Thermamix came into my life through my work as a journalist when one of my editors asked me to write a story about chefs and the gadget that they wanted in their professional kitchens. They all said Thermamix. I'd never heard the word, and I thought I have to find out more. So when I found out a little bit more, I suddenly wanted one.
Yeah.
So the
latest gadget, isn't it?
Yeah, that's it. And look, I've loved it. I've loved my journey with Thermamix. It's led me to writing 3 cookbooks. I've got a website at dannyvalent.com where I do a lot of cooking with the Thermamix.
Okay, well let's have a look at one. Now this is the older version, isn't it? This is the T31.
Correct.
And this one is really useful as from my perspective. Thank you. It's got all these buttons here which give us the temperatures. It's got this one up here which is useful for me because it's that one there.
That's the scales. Yeah.
It's slightly different. So this is really quite a useful machine, I think, for visually impaired people.
Yeah.
Who want to get back into the kitchen.
Yeah. You can feel your way around it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's a really simple machine to use. But of course this one is no longer in production, is it?
Correct, yeah, so Thermamix has moved on to the TM5, which is over to the left there.
This one here, which is very sleek, has got this carrying handle, probably looks ever so smart, but has this digital display and buttons I expect that you press on here. So completely useless for visually impaired people. So they've happily designed themselves out of the market for accessibility. And that's what happens when designers get more interested in what it looks like, the aesthetics, than actually how it works for people. So I think we'll just get rid of this one and we'll go back to the old one.
Okay, I'm feeling where your allegiances lie to the 31, and I can understand why, so we'll unceremoniously put the TM5 away for today, and we will cook with Old Faithful.
And we're going to make some bread.
We are going to make some bread.
Fabuloso.
Alright. So Penny, the Thermamix is speaking to us. It's telling us that it's done its 2 minutes of waking up the yeast. So if we just turn that dial back to its starting position, and then we can click off the lid. So now it's time to add the other ingredients. So that's our flour, olive oil and salt. And I'm using some unbleached flour. I do like this Wallaby baker's flour. So I'm just going to, sorry.
It's alright, I suddenly realised the bag was whizzing past my head.
Yeah, it is. I'm going up to 500 grams. Now when I'm measuring out the olive oil, I just do a generous glug.
Yeah, glug.
Yeah.
Yep, absolutely. Me too.
So we'll generously glug a bit of oil in.
Yep.
And if you wanted to be particular, you could say about 30 grams. Now what about salt? Do you want to add the salt? So do you want to just put in what feels right to you? Because I love being quite generous with salt in bread. Okay. Shall we pop the lid back on and we can knead it for a couple of minutes?
Now, the lid's got this sort of hole in the lid, doesn't it?
So you can add ingredients directly through that.
Oh, right. So is that good for something like mayonnaise?
Yes. Yeah. Absolutely. So now what we're doing is we're using the kneading function. Right, that was
over here somewhere, wasn't it?
Correct. So to make this work, what you need to do is turn the speed dial just one little click clockwise, and that will just mean it sort of closes the lid, it locks it. Yeah. Now we press the, exactly, that's the kneading one. Yeah. So we press the minus button once. Yep. And the plus button twice. And then we lock the lid. Yep, and then we press the kneading button.
So how long are you actually going to need this for?
Oh, 2 minutes.
That's not long, is it?
It's not long, but it really does a good job.
Okay. So that's the noise again, saying it's done. So I unlock the lid.
Yep.
take that off.
Yeah. So if we lift the bowl up completely.
Just lift straight up.
Just lift it straight up.
Yep.
And then the baking tray is in front of us here.
Yep.
Do you want to just upturn it?
Whack it out.
Yeah. And then if you hold that with one hand and then twist the underside of the blades.
Oh right, yes,
so
I'm with
you.
You
Can feel the element with the spiky bits, but the roundy bit, the round bit, the sort of cog. Yeah, that's it. And then turn it any direction.
Yeah, I've got it. I've got it.
And then it should just like ease the dough out. Amazing.
So that's us having used this machine. That's all we're going to do with this machine now,
Yeah,
isn't it?
that's it.
And I have to say, it was pretty straightforward to use, wasn't it?
Yeah, you just like nailed it in about 2 minutes flat.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can around those controls really easily.
So I think this is a perfect machine for visually impaired people. If it was speaking, and that would be the next best thing.
Yeah.
But actually, we can't buy it anymore. So visually impaired people, blind people, you're resigned to second-hand goods again.
So, what I normally do is make a kind of petal shape, I suppose, or flower shape, where I've got one central roll and then 6 around the outside.
So 7 balls?
Yeah, 7 balls. So shall we just get in there and do it?
Yep.
All right.
And you're not weighing them?
No, are you shocked?
Well, no, but you know, I'm a good little weigher, and I like to weigh them. If I'm making, you know, rolls for guests or something, I would make them the same sort of size.
Well, sorry, I've stolen the joke. Your guests are luckier than mine. They just get random shapes. That's a
free fall.
Exactly.
But it's quite an interesting dough. It doesn't feel glossy.
Yeah.
Is it shiny?
Not really, no.
No. I'm just comparing it with, you know, the dough I would make at home. You know, I just use a bread maker because, you know, to this sort of stage. Have some more.
Thanks.
Because I'm trying to keep mess down.
Yeah.
And when you can't see a fine film of flour all over the kitchen, it's a bit of a nightmare.
But I have to say, Penny, there is no flour in our kitchen.
No,
like,
because this is another alternative to that, and that's why I like it so much.
So I'm just going to flick on a bit of water, and that's going to steam up, and it'll give a bread a little bit of a crisper crust.
Yep.
So just a little bit on there, just a little bit of light rain, and then I'm going to turn the oven up to about 220, so quite a hot oven. And
they're not going to take long, are they?
No, they'll take 15 to 20 minutes is probably all it's going to need. Let's get the bread out.
It's smelling good.
I know, it smells so good. We haven't had to touch these.
Wow, they've really come up well, haven't they?
Haven't they?
Yeah, very
impressive. I love
impressive.
that hollow sound.
Yeah.
That's what we want, isn't it?
Good crust on that.
Ow. Ow. Yum. So what I'm looking at there, Penny, is a beautiful...
You've opened it?
Yeah, it's a beautiful fluffy roll.
Oh wow, yes, that is good, isn't it? And this is your fabulous fig and lime jam.
Yeah, so we'll put a little bit of that on.
And what's inspired you with that?
Oh goodness, I love figs. I love anything with figs. But I think it's so nice to cut that sweetness with a little bit of the acidity of the lime.
Yep. And with the jam, is there enough pectin in figs to actually, or using the lime?
In the lime there is, because we use the lime peel.
Yeah.
So yeah, that actually sets quite firmly. This is, I feel like I've buttered it as I would have buttered it in private, and now, which is a lot of butter. But my grandmother lived to 101. And she had her butter an inch thick, so that I feel is my permission to have as much butter as I want whenever I want. Is that all right?
Thank you.
What do you think?
You were right about it. Really fluffy rolls. I'm amazed how soft they are. They're really excellent. And this butter and jam is lovely too.
Yeah, good. Well, it's been so much fun baking blind with you today. And I'm so glad we get to break bread at the end of it. Thanks so much, Penny.
Thank you, and thank you, Thermamix, nearly. Thanks, Danny. Next time, Danny shows me her latest cookbook and a really special ingredient that you can only get hold of if you know the right people.